Hello and welcome to the event. I'm Moinul Khan, co-founder and CEO at Aurascape. In this event, we are announcing new innovations in securing and building AI with the Aurascape's AI security platform. Anything your users are consuming and any apps your developers are building is going to be the focus for our session today. First, let's talk about how we got here. For more than 20 years, organizations have approached cybersecurity through the lens of internet security. Most employee activity involved accessing the internet through HTTPS traffic using web application, SaaS-based services, and traditional software services. To secure this environment, organizations deployed firewalls, web proxies, secure service edge, and DLP solutions. These tools were designed to protect users, safeguard data, and enforce security policies around the enterprise perimeter. And for a long time, this model worked. But now, with the explosion of generative AI, the landscape has changed dramatically. Today, we are hearing entirely new problem statements from CISOs and security leaders. Let me share a few examples. In one case, we have seen sensitive DHS data into the public version of ChatGPT. Another example is about embedded AI. In August 2025, attackers abused OAuth tokens linked to the Drift AI applications, allowing them to extract sensitive data from hundreds of customer Salesforce and SaaS environments. This incident became widely known as Drift Breach. And then there are multiple incidents we have seen with copilots. Copilot indexes a massive amount of data, and if you have over-permission issues, your data is exposed. Because of the caching, index data cannot be even deleted, even when you try to reindex it. So the obvious question is, why are these incidents happening when organizations already have deployed firewall, proxies, zero trust SSE, and endpoint security solution? The answer is simple. AI applications behave fundamentally differently from traditional web applications. AI applications communicate in very different ways. Many AI tools today operate using WebSockets, RPC3, QUIC, Protobuf, and other modern protocols in addition to HTTPS. When this happens, traditional security infrastructure often becomes effectively blind. They cannot identify embedded AI inside SaaS applications. They cannot determine whether an employee is using a corporate AI license or a personal free account. They may capture TCP logs, but they cannot understand what the user is actually doing with the AI system. They cannot see the prompts being submitted, the responses coming back, the intent of the interactions, or whether sensitive data is being shared with an AI model. And as a result, organizations are facing entirely new data loss risks and growing compliance challenges. This is exactly why Aurascape was found. We brought together an experienced engineering team here in the Silicon Valley to design a protocol-agnostic inline security architecture built specifically for AI traffic. Our platform performs real-time TLS inspection across hundreds and thousands of AI tools, allowing organizations to understand and control AI interactions in ways that traditional security infrastructure simply cannot. Aurascape helps organizations prevent modern AI-driven threats, stop sensitive data from leaving the organization, and gain deep visibility into how employees are interacting with AI systems. Some of the world's largest healthcare manufacturing companies, insurance, banking, and enterprise organizations are using Aurascape to close the critical security gaps left by traditional firewalls and SSE platforms. But today's launch is about much more than protecting users and data. It's really about the second wave of AI adoption. In the first wave, employees across organizations starting using commercial AI tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, and many others to improve productivity. Security teams quickly realized they needed visibility and control over how these tools were being used. But now, we are entering a new phase of AI adoption. Organizations are no longer just consuming AI tools, they are building their own AI-powered applications. Many of these are chatbots and generative AI assistants designed for employees or customers. But increasingly, we are seeing something even more powerful, and that is AI agents. These AI agents are being built using frameworks and protocols like MCP, where an MCP client can interact with multiple MCP servers and large language models to complete complex tasks autonomously. These AI agents are dramatically increasing productivity. They can automate workflows, coordinate systems, and perform tasks that previously required multiple human interactions. But they also introduce a completely new set of security risks. We are hearing from CISOs that in some organizations, thousands of AI agents are already communicating with each other across collaboration platforms like Slack, sometimes even developing their own interactions patterns. And without proper governance, these can quickly become dangerous. Just last month, an agentic AI assistant called OpenClaw went viral. It promised to manage your calendar, check you in for flights, respond to emails, and organize your files automatically. But within weeks, security researchers discovered over 30,000 exposed instances of OpenClaw on the internet. In one case, a Meta AI safety researcher watched helplessly as the agent deleted her inbox before she could stop it. It quickly became a powerful example of what ungoverned AI automation looks like in practice. So the question becomes, how do organizations safely build and operate AI applications and autonomous agents at scale? This is exactly the problem we set out to solve. Today, we are announcing groundbreaking new capabilities from Aurascape designed to help organizations secure both AI usage and AI development. Our platform now protects AI queries and responses in real time, detecting and preventing modern threats such as prompt injection attacks, malicious instructions, and toxic or unsafe outputs. We are also introducing the Aurascape MCP Gateway, which allows organizations to govern AI agents securely. By placing an MCP-aware proxy inline, organizations can monitor, control, and secure agents' interactions in real time. And perhaps, most importantly, this is built as a platform approach. Whether your employees are consuming commercial AI tools or your developers are building custom AI applications and agents, everything can be secured through the Aurascape platform. This allows organizations to enforce consistent threat prevention and data protection policy across their entire AI ecosystem, from users to applications to autonomous AI agents. And with that, I would like to invite our VP of Products, Vishwesh Ananthakrishnan, who will walk you through these new capabilities and show how Aurascape is helping organizations to secure the next generation of AI.
Thank you, Moinul. The Aurascape platform secures the use of commercial AI apps, embedded AI apps, and AI agents. Hi, I'm Vishwesh Ananthakrishnan, co-founder and head of products at Aurascape. This launch isn't about creating a new category. It's about expanding the proven strengths of our platform. Today, employees use AI in 3 distinct ways: through standalone commercial AI apps, through AI embedded directly in their business tools and workflows, and through AI agents that assist with everyday work. Aurascape gives customers broader coverage and deeper visibility into all of these surfaces, unified under one consistent control layer. One platform, complete AI security. Over the past year, we have been shipping features that our customers genuinely love, and they all ladder up to one big idea: giving you complete visibility and control over AI, no matter how it shows up in your environment. Let's start with coverage. We deliver broad AI application and agent coverage across every form factor your employees use: browsers, CLI tools, desktop clients, with consistent policy enforcement everywhere. It doesn't matter how an application or agent is accessed or deployed, you see it and you govern it. Now, what makes that possible is our deep decode. Every time a new AI app hits the market, our agentic AI automation kicks into a full gear and analyzes every risk attribute. We are not playing catch up, we are decoding new apps as fast as they ship. And we go deep on the protocol side too. We deliver full prompt and response visibility across WebSocket and protobuf based applications. So whether your teams are using Copilot, Perplexity, Cursor, or Windsurf, we decode it all. On top of that, we cover AI that's embedded directly into your SaaS tools, which is one of the fastest growing blind spots in the market. When it comes to protecting sensitive data, our DLP engine brings over 600 fine-tuned hierarchical classifiers, inline redaction, and a private vault, so you can let people use AI without exposing what matters most. And finally, governance doesn't mean friction. With custom coaching notifications and hands-on controls powered by Auri, our built-in Copilot, business owners stay in the loop and employees actually learn better habits in real time. And now, what we are most excited to announce. We have dramatically expanded the breadth of our AI apps and agent coverage by an order of magnitude. We have supercharged our agentic workflow so that when a new AI or embedded app surfaces, we go from discovery to full decode in hours, not the multiple weeks that legacy vendors typically take to research an app and add it to their catalog. That's the power of agentic AI applied to the discovery pipeline itself. This isn't aspirational, it's what our customers experience every day. And we're the first to market with evasion-proof MCP security, an industry-leading proxy and gateway solution purpose-built to secure model context protocol. Every MCP interaction has two distinct communication paths, one between the MCP client and an MCP server, and another between the MCP client and the LLM. By intercepting all MCP server-bound traffic at the gateway and all LLM-bound traffic at the proxy, with full decoding support across the long tail of LLMs, Aurascape's proxy and gateway combo architecture ensures that clients cannot complete MCP transactions using unsanctioned MCP servers or tools. This is the next frontier, and we are already there. Let's dive deeper into the use of commercial AI apps, because this is where the landscape is moving fastest and where security teams are feeling the most pressure. In this launch, Aurascape has supercharged its platform for significantly greater depth and breadth in how we support public AI apps. Let me walk you through what it means in practice. First, sheer scale. We now cover over tens of thousands of AI apps and counting. That's more than an order of magnitude increase in coverage. And this isn't a vanity number. Every single app in our catalog is backed by a thoroughly vetted, continuously updated list of fully qualified domain names, not just a homepage and SaaS action-based URLs. Why does that matter? Because modern AI apps don't live permanently at a few chosen addresses. They span CDNs, API endpoints, authentication services, and entitlement types, and much more. If you're using a legacy solution, you're seeing a fraction of the traffic. Aurascape gives you the full picture. Next, and this is a big one, we're extending discovery to locally running apps and agents. Up until now, Most solutions in this space have focused on AI traffic flowing over the internet. But the reality is, more and more teams are running AI models and agents on-prem, on local machines, on internal infrastructure. If you can't see those, you've got a blind spot, and that's only going to grow. Aurascape strives to deliver full visibility and control over these local apps and agents through process discovery and rich contextual analysis. Whether it's running in the cloud or running on a laptop down the hall, you'll see it, you'll understand it, and you'll govern it. Now let's talk about speed, because in this market, a discovery that's a week old might as well be a month old. We have made our Agentic discovery engine faster and fresher. It now pulls from a broader set of sources and refreshes risk attributes more frequently, so your view of the app landscape keeps pace with how quickly it's evolving. New apps, new capabilities, new risk profiles, we're catching them faster than ever. And finally, something we're really proud of: customer-driven app signatures. Here's the reality. There are subscription-based AI apps out there that Aurascape may not have access to. Think platforms like Glean, Coveo, HubSpot AI, tools that are deeply embedded in a customer's specific workflow. With this new capability, your team can easily capture app-specific metadata and use it to create intention-aware signatures for identification and deep decode. That means even for apps that are unique to your environment, you get the same level of visibility and control that you'd expect from our built-in coverage. You're not waiting on us. You're extending the platform on your own terms. Now, breadth is important, but depth is where the real security value lives. So let's talk about what we have done for the AI apps that matter most to leading enterprises. These are your sanctioned apps, the ones you have approved, the ones your employees use with their corporate credentials. The challenge is, just because you have sanctioned an app doesn't mean employees are using it the way you intended. Are they authenticating with their personal email to access a free tier and bypassing your corporate controls? Are they spinning up expensive or risky capabilities, like firing off deep research queries, running agent mode, or connecting to unauthorized cloud repos like Box or Google Drive directly from ChatGPT? For software development teams, are they using GitHub Copilot with LLM models that aren't on your safe and approved provider list? These are the kinds of questions that keep CISOs up at night. And our expanded Deeper Decode now gives you real visibility into risky entitlements, personal credential use, and high-risk intentions across your sanctioned app portfolio. You set the policy. We give you the eyes to see it and the hands to enforce it. So, to bring this all together, tens of thousands of apps with real FQDN-backed coverage, deeper decode into sanctioned app risks and entitlements, visibility into locally running AI, faster and fresher discovery, and the ability for customers to build their own signatures. This is what it looks like when a platform is purpose-built to keep up with the pace of AI adoption, and we're just getting started. Let's talk about a shift that's happening fast and that most security tools still aren't equipped to handle. AI is no longer a separate category of application. It's been woven directly into the enterprise tools, SaaS products, and everyday websites your employees already live in. The line between a regular app and an AI app is thinning, and frankly, it's going to disappear altogether. When that happens, you can't afford to only secure the apps that call themselves AI. You need to secure AI wherever it shows up. Aurascape already helps protect employees when they interact with embedded AI. And in this launch, we are expanding that protection significantly across embedded AI experiences. Let me give you a feel for the breadth of what that covers, because it's wider than most people realize. Think about your developers working in VS Code. They're not just writing code. They've got plugins like Codo and Tab9 running right alongside them, generating suggestions, completing functions, analyzing context. That's embedded AI. And you need visibility into what that data, you need visibility into those unsanctioned plugins. Now, think about your broader workforce. They're using Notion AI to draft documents, Adobe Acrobat AI to summarize PDFs, Atlassian AI to triage Jira tickets. These aren't standalone apps, they're AI features baked into tools your teams have been using for years. And unless you can see inside those AI interactions, you've got a growing blind spot. It goes even further. When an employee runs a Google search and enters AI mode and continues that conversation, that's embedded AI experience right inside the browser. When someone visits a vendor's website, say purestorage.com, and starts chatting with a Drift-powered chatbot, that's embedded AI on a regular website. Then there are the platform giants embedding AI across the ecosystem. Google Gemini surfacing inside Google Drive, Microsoft Copilot woven into Word and Excel. Your employees aren't choosing to use AI in these moments. It's just there, and it's potentially retaining and training with their data. This is the new reality, and security teams need broader coverage across all of these surfaces, not just the apps that have AI in their name. That's exactly what Aurascape delivers, and with this launch, we're making sure you're covered wherever embedded AI shows up next. Let's turn to the frontier that's keeping security leaders up at night: AI agents. Employees are increasingly using AI agents directly on their devices. These aren't just chatbots anymore. They're autonomous tools that browse the web, execute code, read files, connect to enterprise systems, and take action on behalf of the user. And from the organization's perspective, this is still employee AI use, which means it's still your risk to manage. Aurascape already gives you visibility and protection for several types of AI agents today by monitoring traffic from end user devices. But with this launch, we are taking a major step forward by combining endpoint agent discovery and our network proxy visibility and control. You now get true end-to-end visibility and runtime protection for AI agents. That means we see the agent when it launches, we see what it connects to, and we enforce policy on what it's allowed to do in real time. Let me walk through a few scenarios. By no means are these exhaustive. These are just a few examples. First, supply chain poisoning through project configuration. Picture this. A developer clones what looks like a routine internal repo and opens it with Cloud Code. What they don't see is that someone has checked in a malicious config file, a settings file designed to auto-approve all MCP servers and inject a hook that executes on startup. The moment Cloud Code launches, before the developer even sees a trust dialog, that hook fires. It reads their SSH private keys, harvests their API credentials from the environment, and opens an outbound connection to exfiltrate both. The developer never clicked on anything. With Aurascape's discovery, we detect the agent launching and its configuration context. With our network proxy, we see and control that outbound exfiltration attempt. The attack gets stopped before the data ever leaves. Second, prompt injection that creates a persistent backdoor. An employee deploys an open source agent called OpenClaw on their work laptop, and it connects to their Slack and Google Workspace for everyday productivity, managing email, organizing files, summarizing documents. Now imagine an attacker plants a hidden prompt injection inside a shared Google Doc that the employees' teams collaborate on routinely. When OpenClaw processes that document, the injected instructions steer it silently to a new chat integration, an attacker-controlled Telegram bot. OpenClaw treats this new channel as legitimate and starts accepting commands through it. From that point on, the attacker issues instructions directly via Telegram, reads the employee's desktop files, exfiltrates their contents to the server, and deletes the originals. No software vulnerability was exploited. Aurascape's endpoint presence catches the agent's launch and its integration activity, while our network layer identifies the prompt injection attack and blocks it. Third, sensitive data pasted into an autonomous cloud agent. A strategy consultant uses ChatGPT's agent mode to build a competitive analysis. They paste, not attach, in an internal pricing matrix, a draft acquisition memo, and a confidential board deck for context, and then tell the agent to go do research. The agent autonomously browses the web, writes working files in its cloud sandbox, and produces a polished deliverable. But every byte of that confidential material is now sitting on external servers, processed alongside public web content with no separation between the employee's proprietary data and the agent's external research. The network layer saw nothing but standard encrypted traffic. Aurascape handles this differently. Our deep decode inspects the prompt and response content in line to identify risk entitlements and risky intentions. Our DLP classifiers detect the sensitive material in real time, and policy enforcement kicks in, whether that means redacting the confidential data, coaching the employee, or blocking the action entirely. The data stays protected even when an employee makes an honest mistake. These aren't hypothetical edge cases. These are the kinds of scenarios that are happening right now as AI agents become part of our daily workflows. And the only way to defend against them is with a solution that combines endpoint visibility with network-level control, seeing the agent, understanding what it's doing, and enforcing policy before damage is done. That's exactly what Aurascape delivers. And with this launch, we are growing our arsenal for AI agent security. So, let me bring it all together before we move on. Aurascape has been helping security teams govern employee AI use across a wide and growing landscape. With this launch, we are expanding that coverage significantly across more public AI apps, more embedded AI experiences, and AI agents. Wherever AI shows up in your employees' workflows, the platform is there, providing visibility, enforcing policy, and protecting sensitive data. And the real value here isn't just more coverage, it's more consistent control without more tool sprawl. You don't need a separate solution for AI apps, another one for embedded AI, and yet another for agents. Aurascape gives you one platform, one policy framework, and one place to see it all. At this point, I'd like to invite Taz, Head of Cybersecurity at AC Transit, to share his thoughts on the use of AI at his enterprise and steps he's taking to secure it.
The shift we're dealing with right now is from AI use to AI action, and that shift requires a fundamentally different security model. At AC Transit, our view is that AI risk goes far beyond having a policy on a paper. Policy matters, but does not solve the full problem. AI introduced security governance and ethical risks that traditional controls were never designed to handle. Bias, hallucination, sensitive data exposure, and now an entirely new class of risk tied to agentic AI. Systems that do not just answer questions, but take actions across the enterprise systems. The first problem is visibility. In my upcoming book, Applied AI Governance, I describe what I call the dark forest, where organizations cannot inventory which AI agents are operating, what tools they access, who owns them. Industry data shows fewer than 1 in 4 organizations maintain a current inventory of their AI agents and integrations. AI is showing up in 3 forms. Embedded inside platforms people already use, standalone apps like ChatGPT and Claude, and custom agents like large language models, directly. That third category is growing faster than security can keep up. We found AI usage in tools and workflows that no one in security had approved or even ever knew before. That is not a policy failure. That is a visibility failure. The second problem we're dealing is a data exposure. People do not intend to create risk, but they routinely enter PII, sensitive business data, and operational information into AI systems without understanding where it goes or how it may be used. Traditional DLP was built for files and emails. It was never designed to inspect AI conversations in real time, understand the context of a prompt, or tell the difference between a harmless question and a sensitive disclosure. The real question is not whether someone used AI tool, it's what data moved in what direction and with what level of risk. The third problem is agentic AI, and it is accelerating fastest. I often get asked how this compares to shadow IT. As I write in my book, Applied AI Governance, shadow IT was a cost and compliance nuisance. Agent sprawl is an operational existential threat. Quote, you can shut down a rogue SaaS subscription with minimal business impact. You cannot easily shut down an agent that has autonomously processed thousands of transactions, modified records, or reconfigured a system. When AI moves from generating text to connecting tools, querying databases, and executing tasks, the risk model changes. Interoperability is powerful, but interoperability without control accelerates exposure. And as I describe in the book, in a sprawled environment, attackers do not need to subvert your defenses. They exploit the absence of governance. The agent becomes the attacker's camouflage. If agents can act across enterprise systems, governance has to exist at the point of execution. Who's the agent acting for? What authority it has been given? What data it can touch? What should be allowed, blocked, or escalated? This is why organizations need AI native security, not legacy architecture stretched to fit AI. Firewalls, proxies, CASBs were not built to understand AI conversations or agent behavior. What we need is a real-time discovery of all AI usage, including shadow AI and embedded copilots, contextual understanding of what's happening in every AI interaction, protection for sensitive data at the speed AI operates, and the enforcement at the point where agents act for both human AI use and autonomous agents. This is the shift, right? From AI as a tool to AI as an actor. And that demands security purpose built for AI from the ground up.
Thanks, Taz. That's a positive confirmation of our strategy to secure AI at Aurascape. Now, everything we have talked about so far has been about securing the use of AI by employees. But there's another equally critical side to this story, and that's securing the AI that your organization is building. I would like to pass the baton to Vairavan Subramanian, who will show us how Aurascape secures the building of AI agents. Vairavan, over to you.
Thank you, Vishwesh. I am Vairavan, VP of Product at Aurascape. I will walk you through how Aurascape secures the agents you build. AI agents are quickly becoming part of the enterprise. They're handling customer interactions, running internal operations, even managing infrastructure. Some work alongside humans, asking for approval before they act. Others run autonomously 24/7. But they all share two things: LLM intelligence and direct access to your enterprise systems, CRM, databases, Slack. This creates an entirely new security challenge. And that's exactly the problem Aurascape was built to solve. So how do we secure enterprise AI agents? At Aurascape, we built a platform around three pillars: see, test, and defend. First, see. You can't secure what you can't see. So we give you full visibility into every agent, every tool it invokes, and every system it touches. Second, test. Before agents reach production, we attack them ourselves, simulating prompt injections, jailbreaks, and executing real code parts to uncover vulnerabilities. And third, defend. Once agents are live, our MCP Gateway and LLM proxy secures every interaction between agents, enterprise systems, and models. And because it's one platform, what you test is exactly what you protect. Before you can secure your agents, you first need to see them, all of them. And that's harder than most teams realize. Agents are being built everywhere, inside products, inside workflows, often by teams outside of IT. Aurascape automatically discovers every single agent and private application running in your environment. We map the MCP servers they connect to, Salesforce, Jira, Slack, GitHub, and every tool they invoke. Just as important, we separate what's sanctioned from what it isn't. Because unsanctioned tools or actions are often the real risk heights. Then we go deeper. We show you what's actually flowing through these interactions: prompt injections, jailbreak attempts, sensitive data, credentials, and unauthorized actions against enterprise systems. Most organizations simply don't have this level of visibility today. Aurascape gives you the complete picture because you cannot defend what you cannot see. Let me show you what this actually looks like in the real world. An employee asks an agent to summarize a Jira ticket. Totally routine, something thousands of companies are already doing. But hidden inside the ticket is a prompt injection. The ticket instructs the agent to ignore its original instructions, retrieve Salesforce contacts, and send them to an external Gmail address. Now, without the right visibility, the entire attack happens inside a black box. But here's what Aurascape sees. First, we see the tools the agent has access to. Things like Jira Get Issue, Jira Update Field, Jira Post Comment. Every capability the agent can invoke is mapped and visible. Second, we see the exact tool call the agent makes, the issue ID, the parameters, the timestamp, and the request being routed to the Jira MCP server. Nothing is hidden. Third, we see the response coming back, and in this case, it contains more than just the issue. It also exposes an auth token, an API key, sensitive data that should never be flowing through an agent interaction. And finally, Aurascape classifies the threat in real time. Prompt injection detected, credentials flagged, policy enforced. The exfiltration attempt is blocked and the response is sanitized. And the key point is you get this entire level of visibility the moment Aurascape connects. No infrastructure changes, no disruption to your agents. Let me give you another example. An HR agent makes a tool call to an internal database and pulls the customer records. One call, bulk data. Then in the same session, the agent makes a second call, this time to Jira, and writes the exact data into a public ticket. Two calls, two systems. One data transfer that should never ever have happened. And here's the tricky part. Neither call looks dangerous on its own, but Aurascape tracks the lineage across the entire chain. We see the data movement from the internal database to the Jira ticket. The system flags the cross-system transfer and blocks the write before the ticket was ever created. And that's the key idea with Agentic AI. The risk isn't a single action. The risk lives in a chain. The tool call visibility and data lineage are how you see it, and Aurascape gives you both from the moment it is deployed. Now let's look at test. So far, we've talked about seeing what your agents are doing, but visibility alone is not enough. The next step is testing how they fail. And this is where most adversarial testing for AI agents falls short. Most tools focus on the surface, the prompt. At Aurascape, we secure both surfaces where the agent breaks. The instruction layer, where attackers use prompt injection and jailbreaks to manipulate the model, and the execution layer, where the agent code actually runs. And the second layer matters more than most teams realize. Because today, many agents are being built with AI coding tools like Cursor, Copilot, Codex. This dramatically speeds up development, but it also introduces a new class of risk. AI-generated code can inherit blind spots of the model that produced it, outdated dependencies, insecure patterns, vulnerable libraries, often shipped with very little human review. So Aurascape doesn't just test prompts, we execute the agent's real code parts, exposing vulnerabilities that only appear at runtime. Most tools secure the instruction layer. Aurascape secures the entire agent. These are the attacks we see agents facing in production today: prompt injection, jailbreaks, code injection, misinformation. Each one targets a different trust boundary. The instructions, the model's behavior, the code it runs, and the data it can access. Aurascape continuously simulates these attacks against your deployed agents. And we don't just test once, we test continuously. The platform produces a scored report, resilience by attack type, guardrail pass or fail, and trends over time. So you always know where your agents hold, where they break, and before an attacker finds this gap. This is where AI-generated code can quietly become a liability. An agent is asked to generate a simple SSH handler. The code looks reasonable, but it introduces vulnerability that could allow remote access. In other cases, the agent pulls in a logging library to help with debugging. Unfortunately, it selects a version with a known critical vulnerability. And in the third example, a build request resolves to a compromised open source package, introducing a supply chain risk. In every one of these cases, the agent followed a perfectly reasonable instruction. The problem was not the prompt. The problem was what happened when the code actually ran. Aurascape executes the full code part, detects the vulnerabilities before the code ever ships, and automatically enforces the fix. So far, we've talked about seeing what agents are doing and testing how they can break. The final step is defending them in production. Aurascape sits in the middle of the agent's two critical channels. First, the intelligence channel between the agent and the LLM, where every instruction, response, and piece of reasoning flows. Second, the execution channel between the agent and the tools it can invoke, the systems it connects, and the data it retrieves. This position gives us something unique: full context. We see what the agent was told to do and what it actually can execute. And that's the key difference. We are not just inspecting traffic, we are enforcing full intent. Everything we showed today starts with visibility. Aurascape gives both developers and security teams universal visibility into every tool call, every data exchange, and every action your agent takes. That's the foundation, because you can't secure what you can't see. For developers, the visibility becomes observability. You can see exactly what the agents interact with tools, debug behavior quickly, and deploy securely in minutes with a custom MCP registry and role-based endpoints controlling what tools are exposed. For security teams, that same visibility becomes control. The MCP Gateway enforces which tools can be used, applies granular access control policies, and maintains a full audit trail of all conversations, tool calls, and data exchange. We built in guardrails like prompt injection, jailbreaks, and other attacks. So both teams work from the same foundation of complete visibility and full observability and enforcement where it matters. The Aurascape MCP Gateway ensures agents can only use approved tools, and there's no way around it. Every tool call between the agent and its MCP server is cryptographically signed by the Aurascape Gateway. The signature is then verified on the path back to the LLM by the Aurascape proxy. So if someone tries to bypass the system, calling a tool directly or connecting to a server outside the gateway, the request shows up unsigned, and Aurascape blocks it automatically. The result is something very, very unique: a zero-bypass gateway for AI agents, where every tool interaction is verified and unauthorized actions simply cannot execute. Every agent, every tool call, every model interaction is governed by a single enforceable policy engine. Aurascape gives security teams precise control over how AI agents operate. You define which agents can access which MCP servers, which tools they're allowed to invoke, what data they can retrieve, which models they can interact with. Every action is checked against policy in real time. Anything outside these boundaries is automatically blocked. And the layer on top controls an intelligent guardrails. For example, prompt injections, jailbreaks, PII leakage, credential exposure, malicious code in model responses. These aren't detected after the fact. They are stopped at the moment of interaction. The result is deep, granular governance for AI agents. Your agents can move fast because the rules are clear and enforced. Your security team gets a complete auditable record of every interaction, and the risks that come with agentic AI, rogue agents, shadow tools, and data exfiltration are contained before they ever happen. Security usually slows developers down. New tools, admin approvals, infrastructure changes. We designed Aurascape so that none of this is required. Connecting an MCP server to the Aurascape gateway takes these steps. Copy a prefix and add it to your existing server URL and restart. That's it. No tickets, no admin approvals, no architecture changes. Your MCP servers keep running exactly as they do today. Aurascape simply sits in front of them. And because we support every authentication method, OAuth, API keys, basic auth, no auth, nothing needs to be migrated or replaced. For developers, this means protection the moment they connect to a server. For security teams, every server becomes instantly visible, logged, and governed through policy. The result is security that does not create friction. Developers keep moving fast, workflows stay uninterrupted, and your entire MCP environment comes under visibility and control. Let me close with the bigger picture. AI is entering the enterprise in two ways. Teams are consuming AI, co-pilots and assistants across the entire organization. And teams are building AI, agents that connect to tools, systems, and data. Both unlock enormous value. Both introduce new security risks. Aurascape secures both sides. For consume AI, we discover usage, enforce policies in real time, prevent data leakage, and give security teams full conversation visibility. For build AI, we secure the agent lifecycle, deep visibility, code part testing, zero-bypass gateway, and granular control over every tool and model interaction. All one platform with continuous governance and runtime enforcement. Because in the age of AI agents, power and autonomy are increasing fast. And as Spider-Man reminds us, with great power comes great responsibility. Aurascape makes sure organizations can embrace the power safely. The Aurascape platform is also battle-tested at multiple Fortune 500 companies in the insurance vertical, in the financial vertical, in the healthcare vertical, in the tech vertical, and many other large enterprise organizations. Thank you. Now let me welcome Moinul back.
Jack, it's great to see you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. We're going to spend some time today to talk about AI security, AI consumptions. Super excited about it. Let's talk about AI consumption and top AI security concerns. Obviously, as a vendor, we talk to customers every week, but I think you do more, right? So as you go around and talking to different customers and enterprise customers, what are you hearing? What are their top security concerns as and when they're consuming more and more AI?
Right. Well, I think what I hear all the time is that AI is a land grab, right? Everybody is rushing into it. It's too big, we can't ignore it. So the mandate comes down from the board of directors to the CEO says to the company, we're doing AI. Don't necessarily know what that means, but we're doing AI. And so that then becomes a whole bunch of projects throughout the company. We have users type stuff where users doing how do we support ChatGPT and all those different types of things. Then we have a whole bunch of efforts being done in how do we build our own AI-based applications, maybe even building our own LLMs. And the security teams go out there and look at that and say, oh, we have to secure this. We have no idea what that means, right? There's no existing sort of recipe for how we secure AI. But we have to do it because we've tried in the past doing things like block lists, and that doesn't work. It's impossible to maintain. And it also really doesn't help the business. Security people want to be, they no longer want to be the Department of No, but the Department of Yes. Now they're just trying to figure out how do they be Department of Yes.
The biggest surprise I get when I see a false sense of security, from the CISO and CISO or the security team, I think, when we get into this conversation, people would come to us and try to hear like, what is our security for private application, what is our security for agentic AI, the model security and red teaming and so on and so forth. And when we first start talking about their employees consuming hundreds of tools and we tell them that you need security, they have this false sense of security. They think their existing SSE product or zero trust or firewall is taking care of all those problems because they're internet facing. And that's when we need to actually do a lot of coaching and education that the existing infrastructure, the inline security infrastructure were built on HTTPS,
Right.
but then AI tools are very different, right? They're not just HTTPS, they're using different protocols. And how do you have sort of like an inline prevention focused architecture, which is sort of like protocol agnostic? So again, kind of like going back, is the biggest surprise for us is this false sense of security, based on the existing architecture that they're using. Let's talk about AI agents, right? This is becoming a hot topic for everybody. AI agents are great. People should be building it, consume it more, because it just introduces automation throughout the organization. But what are some of the interesting problem statements about AI agents?
So I think it's, again, from the CISO security environment, it's not understanding. There is a big misunderstanding that AI agents are just another form of a chatbot, right? Because they do talk to an LLM, and they're, most of the times an agent is kicked off by a user, right? But they operate differently. They operate autonomously. They operate at machine speed, not human speed, and they make their own decisions.
Right.
And the biggest difference that people don't realize is that the commands are embedded in the data rather than a separate command, right? If you think about a database, usually you say, read this for, write this, update this record to a database, and those are two separate things. In AI, it's all embedded in the commands are embedded in the middle of the data stream, which means you can lose track of things over time. And that has bit organizations and bit people, where they've said to an AI agent, go tell me what to do. Like, don't delete things, but go ahead and tell me what I should delete, because I don't want to go through my entire world, right? It's too big. And the agent loses track of the don't delete and ends up deleting anyways. And the security tools don't exist today with that understanding of that's the way their new world works. And so I think when I start talking to CISOs, when you start talking to the CISOs and to the security teams, it's still an education thing, because this is so new and the tools are so new. And yes, there is an assumption that, I think a lot of people have an assumption that their existing tools just need to be tweaked to work with it. But because it's such a different architecture and a different environment, different way of working, the existing tools really are not sufficient, right? I think you would agree with that, right?
Yeah, I do, absolutely. I mean, again, for the last 15, 20 years, we have done security very different way. We were thinking about, there is bad internet out there and bad guys are coming in and your data is going out. But at the end of the day, it was sort of like one-way communication. AI tools are very different. They're very interactive. They're learning, evolving at real time. So yeah, I do agree with you. When you look at now sort of like the industry today, the security industry, for AI itself, different type of like consumption going on. Again, the employees consuming lots of tools, developers building internal apps, every BU is trying to build their own agent, and I'm sure you already know that there are a bunch of companies focusing on each one of these niche areas. How does that actually solve any problem, or should the industry be looking at sort of like a platform approach?
Yeah, the value proposition of the platform is all of the different components within the platform are integrated and talking to each other, so that they're well aware of all the issues. Now, if you take our current platforms that are architected for the way the internet used to work and the way our work environment used to work without AI, and then you try to bolt in and push in AI into it, That's a very hard thing to do. It's
right.
because it's oil and water. The two are operating in completely different ways. So I think what we're seeing is, and what I think the evolution is going to be to AI native platforms, which is a completely separate platform that is built for AI, using AI, that understands the way AI systems work, which is completely different than the way the old architectures used to work.
That's awesome. That is exactly what we are set out to do. An AI native platform that sort of like takes care of all your relevant AI security issues, whether your employees are consuming commercial tools, whether your developers are building private apps or AI agents. We are a prevention-focused, protocol-agnostic inline architecture. Great talking to you. Thank you for being here, and we should do it again.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who joined us today. As AI becomes more powerful and more deeply embedded across the enterprise, organizations need a better way to secure it. Aurascape helps customers safely use AI and build AI, giving them the visibility, governance, and protection they need across user, agents, and applications. To learn more, please visit aurascape.ai. And if you are coming to RSA, please let us know. We would love the opportunity to meet you in person. Thank you.